All right. Hi there, everybody. I want to welcome you to part one of the customer group training piece. To get started, I want to walk you through some of the important pieces of the Thriving Customers customer group and give you a little background information on why we are incorporating or initiating customer groups in the first place. So the very first thing that you're going to see when you go into the customer group is the same thing that you would see in any group. You're going to have your discussion thread. And as you scroll through, what you will notice is there are several posts that are already there and ready for you to browse and comment on and get some interaction going within the group, even before we add customers, because nobody likes to be the first one to comment. So if customers come into this group and there's already some interaction, they're going to be more likely to go ahead and add in their information. One of the things that you'll notice as you scroll through is that we really try to tailor the posts within the customer groups to get people on Thrive. So it's not necessarily an upselling group or, pushing plus line products and that sort of thing. It really is designed to pique the curiosity of the three-step system and to get people on Thrive. So the posts are tailored around four concepts: providing hope, because everyone knows there is a lot of hope found within our three steps, to encourage engagement. So you'll see contests posted weekly. You'll see general questions that will allow customers and promoters to talk about their favorite part of being a Thriver or the most surprising part of being a Thriver. Like, those things are really designed to get people engaging and interacting. There will be informative posts that explain how the three steps work or how much caffeine is in the three steps total. So things to give them information. And then one of the probably most eye-catching components of the customer group is going to be the transformation photos. And so as you scroll through the discussion thread, you'll see those are already loaded. And then also, if you go to the photos section and then go to albums, you're going to see that there is a From Surviving to Thriving photo album. And this is an album that we can add you can add your own transformation photos to. You can add your customers' transformation photos to this album with their permission. And weekly we'll be adding those transformation photos from the fan page with a little snippet of their story. But it really is powerful if it is actual customer, kind of testimonies that people are able to see in this album. Now, the thing to remember about the discussion thread is that it's always going to rotate based on the most recently commented on. So it could be a post, let's say the customer group is, older. It could be a post from 2 years ago, and if somebody finds it and comments on it, it's going to bump it up to the top. So we kind of want to be cognizant and aware of that as we are commenting on things as the customer group progresses. Now, if you look over on the left-hand side, one of the other sections that is really important is the files section. So within the files section, you're going to find some commonly asked or information that sometimes we take a lot of time to explain, or we take a lot of time to type out, or we take a lot of time to find in our notes or whatever. Now we have an easy place to access that information. For example, there's a How to Thrive for Free file, how to place your order that walks them through, how to log in, where to click, shows them what it looks like. There's directions on how to take the product. So again, always referring them back to it's one formula, 3 simple steps. The thing to remember is that the customer group is an excellent source of third-party validation, but it is not intended to replace three-way calls. So whatever your team is already doing and finding success with, it's very important to encourage them to still do those things. But this is an extra layer of validation. And sometimes customers are hesitant to get on the phone and discuss things when they don't have any background information on the topic. So the files section is kind of that go-to place where we can give them some information so that when they do get on that three-way call, they know what questions they have. They're not just caught off guard by a lot of information being presented to them. So that's truly the intention. It's not in any way to replace the systems that we already have in place that we know work. Truly, it's just there as that extra layer of validation for your customers. All right, so now that you kind of know what the customer group is about in a nutshell, how do we add people? So Facebook has added an extra layer of protection for people being added into numerous groups, right? Because we all know that's an epidemic that happens. You wake up and you're in 50 groups selling something and you never asked to be in those groups. It's a huge turnoff. People don't want to wake up and be in a group that they didn't ask to join. So what we have found the most success with, not only in getting customers to engage and to want to be part of our community, because really the purpose of having this customer group is to create a connection, give our customers a place to create a connection, give our customers a place to bring their friends and family so that they can start to connect and hopefully thrive for free. But we have to remember that starts from that very first impression. So if they wake up and they're in our group and they didn't ask to be here, that's automatically a negative first impression. So the very first thing that we want to do is we want to ask their permission. And this is going to be time consuming on the front end. So most promoters will start with the customers that they already have, people who are already thriving. And those will be their first go-tos that they will ask about joining the customer group. Once you have asked them and they have given their consent, then you can add them to the group. If you follow my cursor here, right over here on the right-hand side, just the same as adding to any other group. And now here's where that layer comes in from Facebook. Once they've been added, they have to actually go into their personal profile, click on their groups tab, and at the very top, they'll see the groups that they've been added to recently. So from that, they have to accept or join. They have to okay that they are joining the group. Once they've accepted it, then we tag them in the welcome post, in the pinned post. And it looks like we did not get it pinned to the top. So let me find that and I'll go ahead and pin it for you. So this is what the welcome post looks like. I'm going to pin it to the top so it'll be much easier for you to find. It'll be right there at the top. And we're going to comment here. Now that they're in the group, we can actually tag them. It is beneficial to leave off the @ sign and use correct capitalization. So what we are finding when going to tag people is sometimes the @ sign throws it off. Sometimes it works and sometimes it doesn't. So you can definitely try it. But using correct capitalization will almost always allow them to pop up and be tagged. And then you just, create a little welcome message. I'm so excited that you're loving your Thrive experience. Welcome to our group. Doesn't have to be anything long. And then you're going to send them a message. Just let them know that you've tagged them in the pinned post. So they'll get that little notification and then they can just jump right in and start to scroll and see what our group is all about. Now, for most people, I shouldn't say for most, for a lot of people, that's as far as they get when it comes to utilizing the customer group. So the part 2 for this training is the now what. So now I have these customers in the customer group. What do I do with them? So I would strongly encourage you to have your teams make a list. So as those customers are being added, as they are getting the approval and they are adding them, this is a layer to our funnel. So have them make a list of the people who are being added, and then tag their customers periodically as contests come up or as new products are released. Tagging them is, a touch that keeps the Thrive experience on the forefront of their mind. So we'll talk in more detail about that as the rollout continues. A couple of things to keep in mind. Initially, as promoters are adding customers to the customer group, they are going to have to be approved by an admin before the customer can see the group. We want to make sure that every promoter is using the ask, add, accept, tag, message process that we just explained, because we don't want the group to be marked as spam. We don't want anybody to go to Facebook jail, and we definitely don't want the group to get closed down. So it's very important that all of the teams go through a training similar to this one, and that they understand the importance of ask, add, then the customer has to accept, tag, and message. And it is going to be a little bit of work up front. Some teams have broken it down and, tell people add 5 a day. It doesn't have to be a rush process. We don't have to get every single, person in the customer group in the first day. So have your teams break it down in a way that is easy and manageable for them. It will make it easier and more manageable for the admin team as well in getting those things approved. So again, we're using the customer group to get people on Thrive. Our goal is to provide hope, get them to engage, give them information that they need to know that this is the product for them, especially if they haven't purchased yet, and then to provide those transformation photos. This group is an extra layer of third-party validation. It's also, if you look at it from an advertising or marketing perspective, it's target marketing, right? We have our little niche right here. We know everybody in the group is interested in the information. Another concern that often comes up that I want to go ahead and address is the idea of people taking other people's customers. That does not happen when promoters have created a relationship and have asked and gone through the ask, add, accept, tag, and message process. If that is noted to be happening, promoters will be removed from the customer group. It is absolutely not an option. It is absolutely unacceptable. But I will tell you that in all of the groups that I have seen, there has been maybe one issue, and it was an honest mistake. So please don't let that hold you back. And then lastly, in closing, again, this is an optional thing to help your team. It is not mandatory. And if you have a process in place, you should continue to work with your team, continue to work with your leader toward that process. If your team already has a customer group, then please continue to use that leader's customer group. This is a customer group that is really designated for, people who don't already have that in place. It's not mandatory to switch anything or change anything that you are doing, especially if that is already working for you. If you have any questions, please feel free to reach out, comment on the video, and we will get more information to you as soon as we can. Thank you so much for your attention, and have a wonderful day.